Good morning, y'all. It is part 2 of the marmalade, Kumquat Marmalade. I had to think. I always want to say loquat. It's a kumquat. But I haven't done anything while I washed my jars. Okay? They sitting right there. But I got to share something with y'all. I got to. Okay? There ain't no two ways around it. Let me fix this camera. There we go. Okay. I'm kind of leaning down. I've been operating on my vacuum cleaner, so my back is a little wonky, y'all. But I got it fixed. Moe's Nerf ball. Sure did. It said. So, yeah. Moe strikes it. But, to this marmalade, okay? Y'all know Miss Nikki sent me all them kumquats. She sent me the lemons. She sent me the oranges. She also sent an email stating she was sending these things. And in that email was the recipe. Well, y'all, I had a lot going on last week. Y'all know. I ain't making excuses, but I had a lot of emotions going on. And I'm about to knock y'all off the bar. Hang on. Let me get y'all here. I don't mean to laugh. Y'all, I got some podunk ways of filming, don't I? I couldn't be professional if I wanted to. But I gotta confess. So, she sends them to me. I have an email. All is well. Well, see, on Sundays, Grandpa comes out for Sunday lunch, washes his clothes, and he's type 1 diabetic. And he'd walk through the pantry. He's like, oh, what's this? I said, Miss Nikki sent me some kumquats, some lemons, and some oranges. He said, oh, I can have oranges. He don't know because I ain't told him. We had actually Mr. Larry down. That's our garden swap friend. So Mr. Larry was sitting there. He's drinking him a soda pop. Grandpa peels that orange. He takes a bite. Now I'm sitting here and I'm going, and I don't like sour. So before his lips started puckering, I was already envisioning what was happening because I don't like sour. Everything in my mouth started drawing up. He said, I said, what's wrong? He said, he's a little torn. He said, it's not bad, but then he do like this. Well, we're all laughing. Grandpa eats the whole orange. I was like, oh, this will be good. I'm going to take a couple of them. They're tart. And squeeze some out, and then Buddy can take his apple cider vinegar with some fresh squeezed orange juice. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I can get through this story. So, fast forward. Ms. Nikki had been trying to get in touch with Buddy, but he had locked himself out of his email. And ain't like the 5th time. So I had the password now. So if he thinks he forgot, I got it. Anyway, they finally made contact, and he says, last night, hey, Lips, I said, yeah. He said, I've been talking with Miss Nikki. I said, yeah. He said, you know, them oranges? I said, yeah. He said, honey, they was lemons. I said, what did you say? He said they was lemons. They're a type of Meyer lemon. I said, oh, crap. Because the first thing that come to mind was my marmalade. I told y'all I used 2/3 cup of orange juice, didn't I? I doubled the lemon juice. So I don't know how quite that's going to turn out. Oh, it's going to be good. It might be on the tart side. So then after I absorbed all this, I thought about Grandpa. So I talked to Allison and I confessed to her, and she says, having type 1, he got him a good cleanse, so it probably helped his sugar levels. He's on a fishing trip. I talked to him yesterday. He says, I feel so good. It's the lemon. So y'all, make sure when you have some orange around, make sure it's some kind of orange, not a lemon. So then, to top all of this off, this morning I wake up, I check my comments, I look at my email, and there's one from Miss Nikki. She said, child, those was lemons. Don't you remember me telling you? Nope. But I look back at the email and she did. She also informed me that I didn't have to do all that cutting. Because, see, she gave me the recipe. Yeah, I was just supposed to wash them, pull that little green little stem off, and you cook them whole with the sugar. It's like a big fancy marmalade. They sell in the stores. Who knew? I don't know. I was doing it like an apricot and an orange marmalade. It's going to work because my recipe is within the guidelines. So then she goes on to say in the second paragraph, this time when you open the box, just give it to Buddy. She told Buddy, she says, I'm sending you some more orange Meyer lemons so you can start you some seeds. Yeah, I kind of disposed of the seeds when I juiced it. So I got to compose myself, but I had to confess, because if I didn't confess, she might say this in the comments. She probably would. So look here. This here, it's a Lippy recipe. Now, it ain't going to hurt you because it's got the right amount of sugar. It does have natural pectin. So we're good. But I was wondering why my house smelled so lemony. Let me get some water. I got me a hot flash. I'm going to take y'all to the stove. There ain't much to see. I'm just going to turn it on, but give me a second. Miss Nikki, I done come up with my own new marmalade recipe. But y'all, you ain't got to sit there and cut on them little old things. You do them whole. Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about the recipe. Well, the recipe's right. Y'all just make sure y'all, if you ever get any kumquats. Oh, and you eat the outside and you spit the inside out if you're eating it raw. Who knew? Not I, because I'm looking at some little cutie oranges over there. They sure look like them oranges I juiced yesterday, but they wasn't. Okay, we're at the stove. Whew. It got hot up in here, y'all. So, oh, and the seeds are edible in a kumquat. Yes, everything in the kumquat's edible. I am going to set my stove on about a number 5, okay? And the reason why I'm doing in this heavy pot instead of my stainless steel is because I want to avoid sticking. This is going to take a while. Now, all I did was pull it out of the ice box. I let it sit about an hour on the counter and then put it in here. I didn't want it solid cold going into this pot. And we're just going to let these start cooking down. And it may take a couple of hours because we've got to reach 220 degrees Fahrenheit for the pectin to congeal, the natural pectin to congeal for our preservative and for it to be able to set up like a marmalade. So always remember, 220 degrees is your congealed temp for pectin. So, you ain't missing nothing. We got a long ways to go. So, I'll be back. We reached 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I did, hang on, let me set this down, skim off a lot of the froth. Well, let's see. Well, if I do it like this, y'all can see. You don't want that. And I've got 98% of it gone. Didn't add any butter or anything. So, since I didn't follow Miss Nikki's directions, starting with the email, she was sending them to me and what to do, and I was winging it, mixing two recipes together, we're going to continue with Lippy's recipe, not Miss Nikki's. So, hour and a half, we've got 220, but I'm not going to stop there. Let me show y'all what else I'm about to do. That's right. I'm going to go ahead. I've turned it down very low. I got me a new one, y'all, not that plastic one. Now, I've had it a couple of months. I've never used it. So, Lord, I may wear this stuff. But I'm going to turn it to about right here. I don't know what it does. Oh, that sucker powerful. Oh, man, this is a whole lot better than that little free one we got. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to let mine cook even longer. We know we are safe on the pectin. We've reached 220. So I'm going to really break up some of these large pieces. Okay, I've got pieces in here, as you can see, but not large pieces. And what I'm going to let this do, now we've reached that 220, is I'm going to let this go ahead and cook and reduce down. And I'm actually going to test it on a plate in about 30 minutes. So we're an hour and a half into this. I'm actually going to move my heat up to about a 4. It was on a 2. And I want this to reduce even more. Now, I have noticed that the seeds that I missed, can y'all see on this plate over here? They actually come to the top. So I'm able to go in and remove them. Even though they're edible, I'd like to remove them. But that's just my preference. But a good thing about it is I just learned that they do come to the surface, which makes it so much easier to retrieve. And y'all know, well, I can go ahead and say it. As you're watching this, Miss Nikki, how many cups of coffee have you had? Or should I say, how many times have you rubbed your head? Y'all, you know, we live in such horrible times right now. The tragedies, all the junk that's out there, okay? We are aware of it. But a little laugh and a fellowship does band-aid the wound sometimes. Here's another one. Oh, there was 3 of them hooked together. Whoop, I don't want to lose them. There we go. All right, 30 minutes and we'll see where we're at. Let me grab this one. I'll be here for 30 minutes digging little seeds out. But see, if y'all would have followed the right recipe, as in if Lippy would have remembered the email, we wouldn't be doing all this. But hey, we might have just created the best marmalade ever. Just saying. This is a labor of love, this recipe I didn't come up with. Because I was like, as I was cutting them, yep, I love my family. I love Miss Nikki. I love my friends on YouTube. So keep cutting them, Lippy. That's what I was telling myself. It's all true. But who knew? I was abusing myself. We made it. I let it go another 30 minutes. And then I skimmed off the rest of the froth. It is beautiful. I actually pulled a teaspoon out, set it on a plate. Within a minute, it congealed. It's absolutely beautiful. And I tasted it. I would actually add more sugar. But it's sweet, but it's citrus. So if you like that true citrus, and I'm not the biggest fan of just straight citrus, but even I would eat this. I can see this on a biscuit. Actually, I'm probably going to use this for like a pound cake or a double layer and put that marmalade in between. What you talk about. Now, the grandkids, Mr. Buddy, Grandpa is going to love it. They all love citrus. I would eat it, personally, on toast. But me, I'd add more sugar. But really and truly, this is the right balance. I'll have to say it's the right balance for probably a majority of y'all's palates. So I'm going to get my jars. This is hot. I've got hot jars. I got my steam canner getting ready to get heated. So I'm going to drop the camera and we're going to do 1 or 2 jars together. And then I'll finish them up. I'm thinking I may get 12 half pints. I'm banking on 9 because I have actually 9 flats right now sitting in not boiling water, not real hot, just on the higher end of very warm. It's not required. It's a Lippy thing, okay? It's not required. It's just a Lippy thing. That's all. Okay, we have our first jar right here. Ooh, it is hot. And as I took one out of my back pot on the stove, I added another one in. Let me set it up close to my pot. Y'all, this is actually just gorgeous. And it looks liquidy, but I'm telling you, it's set up amazing. It really is so pretty. Now, I'm going to go about an inch headspace. Let me set that down. Can y'all see? Oh, yeah, you can see. Now, I'm going to take some vinegar. And I don't think I've got to debubble it. I really don't. I mean, we can, but see, no. There's really no need to do that. All right, I'm going to give it a good wipe. Now, I've already checked my jars once when I washed them. This is my second time to check to make sure I feel no nicks. And I don't. All right, we're going to set that one to the side. Let's get another jar. All right, let's get this one filled up. I mean, I can already see that it's congealing around the funnel here. This smells absolutely amazing. But like I said, you do not have to work yourself to death like I did. Y'all, I was thinking, ooh, I don't know if I want any marmalade, any kumquat trees. This is like hard labor. No, it was Lippy labor. But it's very sticky, so you got to make sure you got your jar really good and clean. I just tap it on my bar mat. Yep, that's going to work. All right, let's see how many I get out of this batch. Okay, we got 12 pints in our steamer, and I had enough for us a pint. Now, I'm not going to water bath this. I'm just going to put the lid on loosely, and I'm going to set it on the counter, and then it's just going to go in the ice box. This is for our use, but I'm not going to go tight. I'm just going to leave the lid on just because it's hot. So we've got 12 half pints in mine, so that batch made 13 jelly jars. All right, let me get my lid on. I'm sure y'all seen me. Now when you got this many, you got to play around with where the lid's going to sit. Am I on there? Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're on there tight. I've got 2 quarts of water in here, but I was letting the water get hot. Just no difference from your water bath canner. Now mine is set. You can look it back in my old cannon videos. I have already calibrated this for this year. I did this the other day. So my calibration is here. It was right on where the old one was. So I'm going to bring my dial up to my calibration. And once we get there is when I'm going to set the timer. So if you were, let me raise you. So if you were using a traditional water bath canner, you would want that water hot, extremely hot. Because this is hot jars, hot marmalade, going into a hot pot of water. Once it reaches the boil state is when you always set your timer. Now make sure if you're using a traditional water bath canner, you need 1 to 2 inches of water headspace, meaning above your jars. I normally go with 1 inch when I'm doing jams or jellies because you're only talking 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you're not going to lose your water from evaporation as if you were doing salsa and things like that. Normally, I will actually bring mine 2.5 inches above the jars, which is a little more than what the book says, but it's not hurting anything. Because I want to make sure that if I am having to water bath for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, that I'm not going to lose evaporation. But with these steam canners, so easy and weighs nothing. This has been a blessing, and I had it, let's see, when did I get this? Over a year ago. And I've had no problem, except every year you do need to recalibrate, and the instructions is in the manual that comes with these. And guys, because I can't tote those big ones. So yeah, I'm very pleased. It was almost spot on, just a hair above. Maybe that was where it was supposed to be last year, and I just kind of marked it, just offset. But I'm still well within the range for my altitude. So yeah, I'm going to know when it reaches my mark, count 10 minutes. Now I got to go chase a chicken. Yeah, it's time to clip some wings. This one chicken, she won't stay in. But she gonna stay in because I'm fixing to clip some wings this evening. That heifer, because I ain't showed y'all, we got a whole new chicken run. Sure do. That was one time they got in my strawberry bed and the last time. So I'll have to show y'all. All recycled material, well, except for the sticks. And they was only $2 a piece. And we already had zip ties. And they got a whole ½ acre to run in. They need to feel privileged. I'll be back when it's done. We reached our 10 minutes, so I turned the heat off the stove. It's kind of got a whistle. Always wait till that whistle goes down just a little bit. Then I'm going to remove the lid and set them out. Now guys, what did it take? 5 minutes to come on to pressure. Another 10 minutes, so what, 15 minutes? And in 15 minutes, I'm going to show y'all something. Because I was looking at the jar. And now it's still, it's a little warm. Y'all ready? Can y'all see that? There we go. Look at this. That is perfect. It's delicious. Still got a little bit of a tart for me. I would have probably added equal parts sugar to the kumquats. That's just me. I did 6 cups of sugar because there was 12 cups. But another recipe that I found in the ball said equal parts. Well, it said half to equal parts. I think I'd have added 2 to 3 more cups. So that would have put me 9 cups of sugar. I know it sounds like a lot, guys. To 12 cups of the kumquats. I'm picking up that lemon, but there again, I doubled the lemon. I mean, I didn't know they made yellow lemons, but this is good. This is really good. I could almost see a fried pie, because then if you'd put that sugar glaze, that would bring in that sweetness. But if y'all like citrus, it's got that little sweet, you're going to love this. But don't do what I did. That is true labor of love. But let me get these jars out, because see, it stopped whistling. Oh my word. Good Lord. Did y'all hear that? They're playing a tune. I'm going to see if I can't turn that volume up when I edit. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah, y'all can see. Now I like airflow in between my jars. And I won't touch these for 24 hours now. And then I'll clean my jars real well and label them. And I do take the rings off. Only 2 of them are going to be mailed. So I'll probably leave the rings off. Leave the rings on. And I did add a splash of vinegar to my water that's in my steam canner. It's not required, but it doesn't hurt. Look at there. Absolutely beautiful. So there you have it. We made marmalade, kumquat marmalade. I'm very pleased, even though it took me 2 days. we ain't gonna talk about that, cause that's what I get for not paying attention. But guys, this creation I created is pretty doggone good. I'll have to give it to myself. It's pretty doggone good. And as you see how it's set up. Now, before we close this video, someone asked, I believe it was Miss Victoria. Excuse me, I hope that I'm right. About back in the day, what did they use for pectin? Well, pectin was actually used in the late 1800s. But a lot of times in the regions that could grow apples, it was the green apples that the natural pectin could be made from those apples to be used in other jams and jellies. So, you know, if y'all are worried about the pectin, which I use pectin, it doesn't alarm me at all. You can make pectin from the apple core, the apple peeling. So you can, if you have, you know, access to apples and you don't want to use a synthetic type pectin, you can always do that. But pectin has been around since the late 1800s. So I thought I'd just share that information, you know, for some of you other maybe new canners that want to try to do jams and jellies without using the pectin. You'll be surprised. Research, look at the amount of fruit, especially in citrus, that holds their own pectin. And here is proof. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And I will see y'all on the next one. And it won't be with kumquats. Not anytime soon.